Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over the state of the Pokemon TCG market, and I'm going to be adding 4 slabs to the time capsule binder. Now remember, this video does include mature language. I will be cussing. So the reason for this is because I don't want this video to be monetized. It makes me laugh because I have to try to add this in my videos, which I would prefer not to, but I don't want this to be monetized. I have a whole fight over YouTube. Anyways, you can check out my videos if you want to learn more about that. That's not what this video is. So fams, fuck. That's probably what you would be saying if you have a bunch of high-end modern alt arts. Shit is hitting the fan, fams. So I have this collection that I have been showing you guys, right? And I've diversified this collection specifically for the reason of not having too much leverage on one set, like Sword and Shield, XY, Black and White, Vintage, right? But so I do have a lot of alt arts, right? Let's see if I can find my alt art page. So what's been happening with alt arts, there's one right there, the Glaceon. What's been happening with alt arts is that they're crashing, fams. The Umbreon VMAX alt art, specifically the most expensive one, I thought this was priced way too high, inflated. I made a video about this, how do I think modern alt arts, high-end modern alt arts are inflated. And I said I did think they were inflated, but it was justified. That's what kind of why I'm picking up these cards. But fams, wow, the Umbreon VMAX alt art in 2 months dropped $100. The Espeon VMAX alt art dropped no, it was less than $100 in like a month or so though. It's been dropping. And if you put this in contrast, not all of them though, Sylveon has kind of plateaued. It's holding. And I didn't check the Leafeon. But if you put this into contrast with other eras, if you put this in contrast with Sun and Moon is actually increasing the alt arts, like the Latios alt art has increased $100 in the last 2 months. More hits like the Hidden Fates hits have been increasing. I have shiny Umbreon, shiny Charizard. Both of those have been increasing. Now, since I have a diverse, set of cards, this whole binder actually increased 11% in the last week. So I do have a lot of cards from X, Y, and Sun and Moon, and those have been increasing. So a couple of things that I want you guys to understand. And this is kind of why I made that video of, do I think it's inflated? I think people are realizing how many of these alt arts there are from Sword and Shield, because they just keep getting graded and keep popping up in the marketplace. And I feel like people are now seeing that Sun and Moon and XY has less of that. And that's because of the hype, right? Of the spike of 2020, of the boom of 2020. Everyone and their grandma came back into the hobby, right? But before that, it wasn't the case. So if you have Sun and Moon alt art like Latias and Latios, that is actually rare compared to like Umbreon VMAX alt art. That was printed way more, right? More cards from Sword and Shield and afterwards, I think, are just going to be saturated in the marketplace for the top hits. So I think it's justified. I think people are realizing, hey, if I go to Sun and Moon, and I've been picking up these cards myself, the alt arts tag team, right? And those have been increasing. Some of those didn't get much love before, but now people are realizing, okay, these are a bit more rare. There are less of them graded. So it makes sense to me. Another thing I want you guys to realize is I am starting to, I was trying to get away from making an investing channel. I just feel like those channels are played out. Like, you're being fake by saying this is the best form of investment. It's not. If you want the best form of investment, you go to the stock market, you go to real estate, proven in ways that have projectiles and consistent growth. Investing in Pokemon cards should honestly be a hobby because it doesn't consistently grow. It has its moments. Like in 2020, if you had a bunch of product before that and now you're seeing 1,000% increase, that will beat the stock market, right? But not every year that happened. If you take a look at all the years of X, Y, and Sun and Moon, barely anything went up. If anything, card stores were shutting down because they weren't able to sell product. The demand wasn't in the hobby that time. So I think it's justified. What I'm doing for investing or keeping track. I'm actually really doing it to keep track. I'm curious, how are these things going to perform? But what I'm doing is called diversification, right? I am not heavily in Sword and Shield. I'm not heavily in Sun and Moon, X, Y. I have a little bit of everything, and I feel like I'm going to be doing that for the until I have 100,000 or 1,000,000 for the goal of this, right? And have been, like I was saying, picking up some Sun and Moon slabs. I've decided to go for slabs now because these are cards that are a little bit older. There are not a lot of them out there. So the ones that people are wanting to sell you are like, they have something wrong with them. So I just don't want to take the risk. And I'm going to get it graded I'm going to get the graded 10 and ride the market from there. All right, fam. So that's what's been happening with the state of the TCG market. Modern alt arts crashing, and older cards, hits from older sets, older eras are performing in general better. Now, I was kind of hesitant to make this video because what I'm doing and what I recommend everyone does if you're going to be investing or holding cards is to do it long term. These are all short term things. I see these things and I'm like, cool or interesting, but I'm not, oh, I need to sell. These things are going to crash. I know a lot of people are. I look at social media marketplaces. And by the way, these prices are TCG player based. So based on demand of buyers and demand of sellers, that's where this price comes from, right? But if you take a look at all the social media and everything was forced to be in one place, the demand of people selling altars on social media is at the highest that I've ever seen before. Maybe people are waking up, or maybe I'm thinking that now we're actually losing a lot of people that were here for the hype. They just wanted to get all the modern stuff, and we're getting to more solid collectors that know what rarity is, right? That want those more rare cards. So I think that's what's happening. I'm not going to be selling or anything, but I thought it was fascinating. And if anything, now that these things are a little bit lower, I might be buying, right, some of these things. But that's what I'm doing, right? I'm not saying what anyone should do. This is not financial advice. If anything, this channel is like, hey, I'm going to do this and take a look. I don't care what you do, though. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 4 slabs I'm going to be adding to the time capsule. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the slabs. Now, there is an update that I have that I kind of have to be vague about, but I told you guys that I was going to triple my income and that was going to help me buy some of these higher end cards. And I told you guys that it was kind of a shot in the dark, but I think that shot in the dark is going to be possible, and I will be tripling my income here soon. So you guys might see a lot more higher end cards here. But let me show you guys what I'm going to be adding to the capsule. So I'm going to be adding some shining cards. The reason is because I feel like these cards are super low right now, cheap, for what they are. These cards, right, are slightly older. We are talking about 2017, so before that crazy boom. They are rare. And I feel like people are going to collect the set. And shining cards, there's some expensive ones like Shining Tyranitar, Shining Mewtwo, right? And I feel like people will want to collect all of them. And if you can afford those cards, Shining Tyranitar, Shining Mewtwo, you'll be able to afford these. So I think it will increase the price in the future. Right now, the app that I'm using to track my collection is putting this at 130. I did look this up on eBay as last sold listings, and it is around that price. So I believe it. And I do have one slab in my time capsule already, and it's this one. I didn't put the price or anything behind it, but I picked this one up for $630. I saw someone selling them for $500, and I was so tempted to buy that one as well, but it was kind of a stretch for me at that time. But yeah, crazy. This raw card has been moving up as well, and the slab, so that's good to see. Another shining card that I'm going to be adding is a shining Rayquaza. Fam, how much do you think this is? And I like how not everything is shiny, but like key moments and more has more shine than others, key areas. How much you guys think this is? It has to be more than $100, right? It is. But I also feel like it should be like a couple hundred. It's a 129 right now, and it is similar to last sold listings on eBay. So I'm gonna be adding that in. I'm not going to sell any of these cards because I'm going to keep an eye on how they're going to move throughout the time. I think these are just going to increase. Look at these cards, fam. They're awesome. Shiny Arceus. PSA 10, $55. This one shocked me. I was like, really? $55 for this? What? You can grade it. Grading fees like $14. Well, for this, it'd be, yeah, maybe 14 or less. Wow, I couldn't believe it. So I'm like, this is only going to increase in the future. We're going to take a look at that, see if I'm right. And then this one is a promo. Now, this card itself is super cheap. It's like $11 card. But it's a promo, meaning that once you grade as a 10, it should increase in value a lot because promos are hard to grade. You take them out of that plastic container and it just all gets dinged up. This is at $65, but last sold on eBay is $80. So it might be climbing soon, or I don't know why it's on the app $65 and last sold on eBay is $80. I actually go based off last sold listings on eBay when I'm going to buy or sell slabs. So I think that's more of a real price. But since I'm keeping track of it with the app, I'm adding the app numbers so that way we can have more of a visual, more accurate visual as if it increased or not. All right, fams, 4 cards, 3 shinies, and 1 promo. It's a Charizard promo, fam. So those are the cards, those are the slabs that I'm going to be adding to the capsule. And right now, the time capsule binder and slabs is over $11,000. So with these cards, we got over 11,000. I'm going to be adding some more slabs from Sun and Moon. Like I told you guys, I think Sun and Moon is an awesome set to hang on to for a long time. Not a lot of people are going to have those, and especially as a 10 in the future. It's not like over crazy printed like Sword and Shield. So I'm going to have some of those. I did buy one more Sword and Shield Altar, the Giratina. So we're going to be, I've bought over $1,000 in slabs. So we're going to be adding some of those in. All right, fams, press the like button. Check out the Discord. That's how you can support this channel. There are fams there you can talk to about the hobby. You can buy and sell Pokemon cards. I'm going to link it down in the comments. And subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you in the next video. Later.